Okay, so boys, we'll just go through some more examples. So this one here, m to the 6 minus 9m cubed plus 8 equals 0. We can see that our powers are in decreasing order as they're already written down. And don't forget, we've always got to have a 0 here. That'd be pretty mean not to put it there, but just make sure there's always a 0 on the right-hand side. So we're looking at the middle term and ignoring the coefficient of the middle term. So we're just looking at this m cubed. I'm going to let u equal m cubed. So we've just got to make sure that this first term is written with an m cubed in it. So m to the power of 6 could be written as m cubed in brackets squared, because remember, if we multiply those, we'll get the m to the power of 6 we have up there. So now, where you see your m cubed, you're going to replace those with a u. So this will become u squared minus 9u plus 8 equals 0. So we're now going to factorise this equation here, of this expression on the left-hand side. So the product is positive 8, the sum is minus 9. Go through and factorise like you normally do, and you'll get u minus 1 and u minus 8 equals 0. So take each bracket and make it equal to 0. U minus 1 equals 0 and u minus 8 equals 0. Solve them. So we've got u equals 1 and u equals 8, but don't stop there. Now you have to put the m cubed back in for u. So where the u is, you're going to write the m cubed there. Same over here. So now we have an equation m cubed equals 1. We're going to solve it, so we're going to get rid of the cubed by coming over here and cube rooting, doing the opposite operation. And you'll get the cube root of 1, which is just 1. So there's only one answer here. Remember, if it's an odd power, it's only going to have one solution. If it's an even power, like a squared, you will get the plus and minus 2 solutions. But if it's an odd power, it'll be only one solution. Okay, and over here, m cubed equals 8. Get rid of your cubed by cube rooting over here. Again, it's only going to be one answer. The cube root of 8 on your calculator will give you m equals 2. So you get your two answers of m equals 1 and m equals 2. Up the top here, you'll notice we've got a polynomial of degree 6. That means at the most, you will get 6 solutions. This one only ended up with 2 solutions, but that's okay. So that means that if we were graphing this, it would have 2 x-intercepts. All right, let's have a look over here. The next one, 3x plus 5 all squared minus 8 outside 3x plus 5 plus 12 equals 0. Big mistake is if you start expanding all of this and expanding all of this and end up with this great long thing, and then you're going to collect like terms and get down to something, you're going to be in a huge mess. Take the hints when they're there. If you see a bracket like 3x plus 5 written twice, it's not a coincidence. So we are not expanding. You are going to look at that bracket that's the same and think about it. So really, we have 3 terms up here. This is one term. Because that's in brackets, it's locked in a bracket, that's one term. This is your second term, and this is your third term. So we take our middle term, which is this one. Ignore the coefficient out the front, and that means this bracket is what we're going to let u equal. Okay, so now once we've decided we've got that to be u, wherever you see that bracket, you're going to write u. So we've got u squared minus 8u plus 12 equals 0. So we're going to factorise this and solve it. So we'll go through like we normally do, and you'll get u minus 2, u minus 6 equals 0. Take each bracket and make it equal to 0 and solve them. So we get u equals 2 and u equals 6. Don't stop there because they want you to solve this thing for x. So up here we said that u was 3x plus 5. So where you see the u, you're putting 3x plus 5. And the same over here. So now you've got 2 more little equations to solve. So make your way through it and get your answer. Make your way through that one and get your answer. And there's your 2 solutions. X equals minus 1 and x equals a third. If you look up there, degree of this polynomial, if you sort of imagine expanding it without expanding it, 3x all squared would be 9x squared. That's the highest power. That's our degree. Degree 2. So that at the most you would expect 2 answers. We did get those 2 answers. If we were graphing, they would be our x-intercepts. Okay, the next one. 125 c to the power of 6 plus 999 c cubed minus 8 equals 0. It's been written in decreasing order of powers. We have our 0 on the right-hand side. Look at your middle term. Ignore the coefficient. So we're going to let u equal c cubed. Don't forget that here, in this first term, we've got to make sure we have a c cubed. So we keep our 125, and then this bit, c to the power of 6, is written as c cubed in a bracket squared. Okay, so then everywhere you see a c cubed, we're going to put u in. So we've got 125 u squared plus 999 u minus 8 equals 0. So the product, don't forget you have to multiply those two things there to get your product, is minus 1,000. The sum in the middle here is positive 999. I know these numbers are big, but when you look at it, it's not that hard. So the product is 1,000. We're looking for factor pairs for 1,000, so I've started to write them out. We've got 1 and 1,000, 2 and 500, and we could keep going. I hope you can see that the 999 has been got already from the 1 and the 1,000. So the highest sign number has to get the plus, so the 1,000 gets the plus. Signs have to be different, so this one will get a minus. So we set up our brackets. Don't forget with the number in front here, we're going to bring 125u and 125u into the beginning of the brackets and 125 on the bottom. Slot in your two numbers, and now we're going to look for common factors in our brackets. There's nothing common here, so just copy it down. This has got 125 to be a common factor. Take it out and you've got u plus 8. If you use your calculator and do 1,000 divided by 125, it's 8 times. And then we cancel out 125s, and there's our factors. So take each bracket, make it equal to 0, solve it, and we get down to our answers for u. But now we have to put the c cubed back in for u. So instead of u equals 125, we are going to have c cubed equals 125. Instead of a u equals minus 8, we are going to have c cubed equals minus 8. So we just take our cubed and get rid of it. Cube root on the other side. Same here. Remember, you only get one answer from an odd power. When you're doing the cubed root of 1 over 125, you can use your calculator, but you should be able to do this really in your head. You cube root the top of the fraction and you cube root the bottom. You should know that the cube root of 1 is 1. And the cube root of 125, I'm hoping you will know that's 5, but use your calculator if you don't. The cube root of minus 8, use your calculator, will give you minus 2. It only has one answer, remember? And there's your two answers. So we started off with a polynomial or an equation of degree 6. At the most, we expect 6 answers. We ended up with 2. That means we would have 2 x-intercepts if we were graphing this. I'm going to go to a third video on this just to do a few more examples.